Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Aina Afiqah binti Muhammad IDRIS, number matric A21 A2371. Before we start the presentation, I will explain what Islamic financial instrument. Islamic financial instrument is a transformation of lending into asset-based financing within the scope of Sharia compliance business contract. There are three categories of Islamic financial instruments. First, debt-based product such as murabahah, musawamah, buy salam and istisna. Second, equity-based products such as musyarakah and mudarabah. And ijara, the last category in Islamic financial instrument, which is semi-debt-based. In this assignment, we only focus on buy salam, where it came from the Arabic word bainun, which means buying and selling. Meanwhile, salamun means to lead. Generally, buy salam is a contractual transaction where an advance payment is made for certain goods and services that will be delivered later. This indicates that the seller signed an agreement to supply certain product and service in exchange for an agreed, fair and equitable price. For the Islamic financial transaction, the item must be valuable and usable in terms of Sharia law and must not involve currency and metals such as gold and silver.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti binti MAHMOOD and my number matrix is A21A3497. Now, I want to present about the factors of the buy salam. The first factor is buyer pays in full when the sale is complete, but in advance for certain goods, often agriculture products, to be delivered at a future date. It is necessary that the quantity of the commodity to be purchased is fully specific, without leaving any ambiguity that leads to disputes. In the buy salam, all details should be clearly stated so that there is no element of deception and uncertainty about something. Next is underlying asset or commodity must be present and traded in the market throughout the contract period. Also the factors of buy salam. If the customer fails to deliver the commodity within the specific time and also in the specific quantity, the customer shall be bound to refund the price received earlier for the product along with compensation for the delay period. Next is the bank only makes a profit when the commodity signed by the customer is sold to a third party at a higher price. And the last one is basis assets must be disabled standard, easy to measure and determine equality. Easy to measure can be expressed in the control process, which is a step in organized and systematic control. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is FATIN binti SUDIRMAN. My number is A21A2471. Here I want to explain about advantage of buy salam. The first advantage is the producer get financing without the need to borrow. For example, the seller get capital to run his business in a halal way, so he can run and expand his business without having to pay interest. Next, utilizing the excess liquidity in Islamic bank to make a suitable profit instead of remaining stagnant. For Islamic bank, the buy salam sales and purchase agreement scheme is very profitable considering that the buyer has complete the payment first. After that, guarantee to get the commodity when it is needed at a predetermined price. There is a guarantee of good in accordance with what is expected, such as quality, type and specification. The last one is buy salam is the right solution to avoid riba. Since in Islam, riba is very forbidden and forbidden acts. In general, every transaction in Islam must comply with the procedures set by Sharia, such as complying with the principle and condition of the sale and purchase agreement and avoiding all matter that can invalidate the agreement. Next is the advantage of buy salam. First is the risk of not submitting the subject of the contract when it's due. It is because for the seller, the goods in the buy salam transaction are paid in advance. The customer can leave after receiving the payment. Next is the problem of determining the price of the good upon agreement. which may cause a loss if the market value of goods decrease upon receipt. This is because the basic nature of the buy as salam contract is the purchase of goods in advance. The commodity price can be lower than market price or from the price that is expected or considered to be in line with the market price at the time of delivery.
My name is NURUL AQILAH binti NIZAM. I will explain about comparison between buy salam and conventional. First, I will explain about buy as salam first. So, buy as salam must specify the duration of the contract and its date of delivery. On the due date, the seller must deliver salam items to the buyer, who must then accept them if they meet the requirement. A contract in which advance cash payment is made for goods to be delivered later on. At a discount, goods like wheat and other cereal or tangible commodities like livestock may be used as payment for salam goods. It can also take the form of usufruct from certain assets, but it must be disclosed to the other parties and fully paid to the seller at the moment the contract is signed. Anything, no matter it is manufacturing or not. So for the conventional, it does not permit any time frame. The seller delivers goods items to the buyer anytime. A permanent contract without any specific period of expiration. So for the conventional market rate, the statistic assess the firm capacity to pay off its short-term debt with cash or resources that can be converted into cash quickly, including readily tradable securities. Creditors can use this information to determine how much money, if any, they are willing to loan a company. So last, conventional is physical goods and property.
Now we go to the unique features of conventional counterpart for buy salam. Islamic instruments are distinct in that all activity adhere to Sharia norms. Furthermore, the main customers of the Islamic capital market are profit-seeking Muslims interested in either investing in halal business or starting a halal enterprise utilizing money granted on the basis of Sharia. The Islamic capital market is it to allow Islamic firms and Islamic government to receive capital in a Sharia-compliant manner. Furthermore, apart from complying with Sharia, Islamic instruments also have reward for deposit made by customers depending on the return from investment made by Islamic banks. The Islamic capital market is only allowed to offer investment instruments for projects that are useful and add value to society, but it is not allowed in any way to offer investment instruments in casino, alcohol manufacturing, and business that have benefit that endanger the moral health of society. Next is regarding market power and profit motivate is also unique for Islamic instrument for buy salam. Profit are not guaranteed and vary based on the performance of the given Islamic bank. Thus, customer may have a share in the profit generated by Islamic banks. All these prohibited together have a cumulative effect of maintaining balance and equality of opportunity. Thank you. That's all for me.
Hi, my name is NATASYHA binti Isa. My matrix number is 8183010. I will present about current issue. First current issue is pay the asset purchase price in advance and promise to take a possession of the asset at a later time. Pricing is just one of the numerous difficult and barrier in this situation. This is due to the fact that occasionally when buying purchases of the seller a price that is below the current market rates. Second current issue has led to legal misuse because the purchase of a costly item that is difficult to convert into the vendor property, even while it occurs in the event of peril by salam, it may result in misunderstanding if the initial vendor by salam was unable to stock as promised. third current issue is prevented by Salam complacency as guide, as has been correctly mentioned in Sharia favor poorer farmers as well as small and medium scale producers to give them the opportunity to meet their economy and social demand throughout production in the economy. Last but not least is conclusion. This method is able to take care of the convenience of all the small trends because there are no dispute between each other. All contemporary banks and financial institutions are able to use this method of financing, particularly for small and medium-sized business and manufacturers in the agriculture sector. Price at by Salam may be made to be lower than those for goods delivered on site, as was previously noted. However, this is cannot done without the seller active involvement.